Hey guys, Dazzler Magic here, and the release of M20 is coming right up in Arena and in the paper card game. And unfortunately, they have announced that they decided to take the game in a very negative direction. Or at least potentially for now. A lot of opinions are very mixed on this. And they've effectively done what a lot of people in the gaming world are doing. Because you know how there's always trends and it usually lasts a year or two, everybody follows each other, and then they come up with a brand new way to piss off the customers somehow, and then they all do that. Well, one of the past trends was loot boxes, and we all know how well that's going. And, well, unfortunately, Magic the Gathering might as well just be called, like, Loot Boosters the Gathering. Because that's pretty much what it is. But, I mean, it's a card game, it's a TCG, people know what that's about, it's been around for 25 years, nothing new here. But the whole let's open it and hope I get what I need or hope I get something good, very unpopular lately. So they're doing absolutely nothing about that. So you thought I was going somewhere with this. But they're adding the new trend, which is basically a battle pass. I think Call of Duty invented this, might have been Battlefield, I don't remember, might have been a completely different game, but a lot of them have adopted it. Apex Legends does it, Fortnite does it. It's like, hey, the game's free, freemium, or even paid in some cases, but if you want a speed bonus on everybody else, you know, a level up bonus, special gear, special side stuff, cool cosmetics, and instead of buying them individually or trying to get them out of loot boxes, it's like, no, you just pay. And then, like, as you progress faster than everybody else and get way more free stuff with the Battle Pass. And I've got to say, I might be kind of framing it in a negative light in this video, but it's been very popular and very successful, which is why everybody's copying each other. So, Arena is basically adding a Battle Pass as of M20, except instead of, like, a year or a month or whatever they're doing, I guess per quarter, because they said per standard product release. So, I think that's kind of long. I think the Apex Legends one is maybe 60 days, so to get 90 out of it is not terrible. So exact pricing and how it's going to work, I'm going to leave that for when it comes up in this article, because this video is actually about MTG Arena State of the Beta, June 2019, an article posted to Daily MTG today. On the author for this one, in case you haven't seen many articles, because we all know Blake Rasmussen articles are just the greatest thing that has ever blessed mankind. Occasionally they do this, where it just says, by Wizards of the Coast. So you know what? You do you, Daily MTG. But, strangely enough, the first sentence of the article is, with a new card set on the horizon, we've brought back Jay Parker, MTG Arena's new game director, to tell you more about the core features and core set, coming to you July 2nd with the 0.16.00.00 game update. So, I guess he wrote this. So then it says, core power to you. Okay, so how exciting could a core set be? I almost feel like that's sarcastic, because they're boring as hell. It's about the basics, the fundamentals, and ensuring that Magic is fun and accessible to everyone. So once again, they're going back to what they said they didn't want it to be, which is like the beginner set, where, oh, well, so only like new people can join for 3 months out of the year when M20 is the featured set? They even said that doesn't make sense, that's why we're getting rid of core sets. Now they're back like, yeah, teach people to play now, which implies not any other time. So it's going to, quote, keep it fun and accessible to everyone, but only for 25% of the year. Logic, everybody. I mean, all I'm going to say is, look at how M19 sold. Poorly. There you go. They didn't really fix or change anything, and still nobody wants to buy it. So, concept, theory, misleading statement, results. Which one are you going to believe? Anyway, also the return of Scrylands, Ley Lines, a new card cycle of legendary wedge creatures. That could have been phrased better. Also, aren't they just called Cavaliers? Isn't it called a Cavalier cycle? Anyway, one ferocious pup, oh, he's so cute, and a really big hammer, and 3 Chandras. And then they actually put the correction that I would have put in. Well, there's also the Planeswalker deck, so that makes 4 Chandras. Thanks for admitting that that was a giant design mistake, and, I mean, what, next up he's going to say all the artwork doesn't match? I mean, it's like I wrote this. If you haven't checked out the Core Set 2020 card image gallery, we highly recommend doing so, because there's a lot this set has to offer. And while many of you have seen some of these cards, mechanics, and keywords before the return to standard, means that starting next week, you'll be able to play them on MTG Arena. Are you excited? Because we're excited. Yeah, I mean, if I was about to make a giant amount of money by launching a new product, I'd be excited too. Which is why I'm proud to announce Desolator Cosmetics. We're launching with our star product, asbestos-based lip balm. It's as best as it gets. Are your lips currently giant fiery explosion proof? No? then get asbestos lip balm. It's probably going to be at Claire's. By the way, that's a reference to some big news story, and I'm not going to explain it. Just look it up. Anyway, they go on to say, Core Set 2020 also gave us the opportunity to try new things with how we develop and implement card sets. Efforts we hope you will feel as soon as you get the chance to play, which I think is a very unusually worded sentence. They're not just going to push out an update to you, they're going to feel the update at you. Or whatever they just said. For the first time ever, our development team ran an internal league in addition to our normal QA process to test the card set. So you were just bored on a Friday. Let me just imagine this for a second, because we all know who would win. It would be some Esper Control running dick. Just somebody running the most dickish control-a-thon crap deck ever. And, I mean, it gets even better if you think, what if they started all the staff members and QA testers at 0, made them earn like 1,500 coins a day so they opened like one pack, they couldn't build anything? Or the alternative is they gave them every card ever and then people just net decked it, and the top couple people in the office were just who could build the most obnoxious tier 1 net deck, which is 100% control across the board pretty much right now on Arena in best of 1. I mean, you would just show up the next day, just be like, shut the hell up, you control running dick. I had a real deck, okay? I was running black-white vampires. You didn't deserve to win with that turn 50 no win con to fairy bullshit, all right? Okay? Helen from accounting, which, okay, I don't think Arena has its own accounting. I think Hasbro has an accounting department. I mean, 7 months from now, somebody will be drunk at the Christmas party and be like, oh yeah? Oh yeah? Weren't you the dick who won that stupid office internal little competition, you know, little mini tournament thing with Esper Control? Bitch, we've been calling you Miss Turn 50 behind your back since then. Piss off with that control crap. You didn't win anything. You won the tournament, but you didn't win our respect. So anyway, that's how that probably went. And not to undercut that entire scenario, but I should have read one sentence ahead where they heavily implied that they were just testing M20, like drafting it and stuff. Oh well, you know how Magic is regardless of the format. I'm sure there is some hostility in the office now. So they were ensuring that everything from the draft picks to the visuals to the card interactions would have an extra layer of polish. We were also able to tackle some quality of life and long-standing gameplay improvements, such as making sure the act of revealing a card is less disruptive without naming any cards in particular. We've also improved how the game handles holding priority between phases. Okay, that was actually like a mouse over hyperlink, and it shows the card Legion Warbot. So the phrase, not naming any cards in particular, is a link to Legion Warboss. Wow, they've officially reached my level of snarky sarcasm. Anyway, also, attack with all should now work for creatures with certain combat stipulations, such as 1/1 Red Goblin tokens with haste that attack this turn if able. I wonder what card they're referencing. I thought they fixed that a while ago, actually. I think before you would hit attack with all, and it would only select the one that has to attack, and then it would pass the phase. So you literally could not attack with anything else if you hit attack with all because you forgot that one needed to. And then I think they turned that off, but I still didn't love it. If I recall, as of today, if you hit attack with all, it doesn't. It just doesn't attack with all. But this minor little patch pales in comparison to what they say next. Which, this is a gem of a sentence. I'm just going to read it how they wrote it. The one other change with this update is, yes, the release date is July 2nd, and yes, since swapping the release date because of a holiday also changed up a few other dates, here's the current list of scheduled Core Set 2020 events in MTG Arena. So, they started the paragraph with, the one other change with this update is yes, comma, and then went off on a paragraph-long tangent about, the 4th of July. What was the yes in reference to? What were they assuming I was thinking? Because I guarantee it's probably not what I was actually thinking. Anyway, then they post, for some reason, a list of events. So that's not even a tangent. We just pulled a 180. July 1st, early access event. What is it? How does it work? They're not going to tell you. July 2nd, Core Set 2020 release date. July 2nd through the 26th, Core Set 2020 sealed. Which I assume they mean is the rotating limited event, but they didn't say that. Nor did they actually link to the event calendar where you could view these in the format that everybody's used to at this point. July 8th through fall 2019, which is not so much a date as it is a general time period. Core Set 2020 traditional draft, which I guess overlaps with sealed, but that's, that's normal. And then July 19th, which is not in fall 2019 through August 2nd, they're going to have Core Set 2020 ranked draft. So they're going to run 2 different drafts at the same time, but only overlap them by half of July. I mean, I don't care, but that's weird. Oh, I was wrong. They do now link to the calendar. More info on all of our upcoming events can be found in our event calendar. I'm already so confused. I'm not even going to bother. I'm not even thinking until July. I'm stuck in right now. By the way, last night I made it to Diamond League, but the video of me getting to it is so... I don't even know how to describe it. Let's just say I'm even questioning uploading it. The guy lost because he ran out of cards in his deck, and at 3 left, he bone anchored me the entire way out. You know what? You vote. Down in the comment section, should I upload that gameplay footage? Warning, it could be conceived as a very negative video. And the word very would be in all caps. But the point is, who cares about next season? I made it to Diamond. And I got there by just taking 2 decks that I am so sick to my ass of playing and just running people over indiscriminately left and right like a bus driver in a crackhead neighborhood. Fun. You know, I don't get to play fun and creative, interesting decks if I want to progress at all. That's not magic. That's not what Richard Garfield intended. Come on. You just take a control deck and play it 100 times in a row and get a 61% win rate. Yay, progression. So, you know, honestly, hopefully Core Set 2020 does something about it. Otherwise, it is nice that all through July and the end of August, they're going to be running draft and sealed. Because, I mean, I know people that, you know, they only play Commander, they only play Modern, or they, like, mix it up and say, well, I'll touch Standard, but only for Limited. I only draft. I only go to the pre-releases, and that's it, and then I just play casual. You know, just anything goes, whatever fun decks, you know, with my friends at school. So I do like that they brought that to Arena with this schedule, and that they're keeping multiple events going instead of just, oh, this week is draft. I hope you like draft. Because that's all some people play. I could see people logging into Arena just to do drafts. I mean, it'd be kind of expensive, but... it is doable. Then you don't have to care about your card collection. You don't have to care about your draft selections because you're never going to play Constructed. I can respect that. Now, after they posted the calendar, they said something very odd. They said, as always, we'll be keeping an eye on things, specifically match waiting times and the quality of matchmaking. I mean, I know once in a while it'll kind of honestly glitch out because we all know there's enough players and it'll take like 2 minutes to join a match. But usually it'll just say draw and then you hit like go back into matchmaking and 3 seconds later you're in a match. So it has to be a glitch. It can't be nobody in the world is available to play against you at that time. I find that hard to believe. But especially lately, it's so infrequent. Why are they addressing it directly in its own paragraph? Unless they mean match waiting times as in waiting for my opponent to freaking do something. That needs to be improved. And then they even said quality of matchmaking. So like... maybe they're finally going to do what I told them to, which is people who lose a game via timeout by burning 4 timeouts in a row plus like the last 45 seconds. I think they're 45 a piece plus 60 to get into it. I mean, that's like 3-4 minutes of my time just because I lost and I'm butthurt. Like, then don't let them get into matchmaking for 15 minutes. Give them a soft ban for 15 minutes. Teach them a lesson. Or people who consistently do not earn the 4th timeout. Which, by the way, you have to not go to timer for 3 rounds in a row to get 1 additional timeout. So people who consistently finish games without the 4th timer, just give them a warning, match them up against other people who play that slow. I mean, do literally anything. I am so sick of taking 3 times longer to play 1 game just because the person's like distracted. They're on their phone catching Pokemon or something. I don't know what the hell they're doing. Watching Netflix, cooking... who knows? I don't know. I don't know what the hell they're doing. I'd love to know, but I don't know. But Wizards freaking do something about it. So I really hope that's what they're referencing. But yeah, I mean, all they said was to make sure that it's still an enjoyable experience for players regardless of the preferred ranked draft fort. I don't know what a fort is. I've never heard that term in the game. And why are we suddenly only talking about ranked draft? I mean, yeah, some people are literally cheating. Not just, oh, they're too good at the game or they got 3 advisors behind them telling them what to pick or they're on live stream with 1,000 people telling them what to pick. That's not necessarily cheating. But as far as I heard, there's still a way to predict what all of the uncommons are. So once you open 1 pack, you say, well, this will be the sequence for all the packs in all the rounds. And then you know exactly what color to go with because the uncommons are like the bread and butter of the power of your deck. So they are literally cheating. They have a better card pool than you. They have a better deck than you. That simple. So if they're going to do something about that, but make it about matchmaking instead of about, you know, actually randomizing the packs and fixing the problem, hooray, I guess. So once again, I'm hopeful, but they're being so stupidly vague about what the hell they mean that I can't get too excited about this. So finally, what you've all been waiting for, the Mastery System, as they're calling it. And then they also said, and meow, because, spoiler alert, pets are in the game finally. But they said back in February, we introduced a revamped tutorial and onboarding system, which I don't know what that is, for players new to Magic the Gathering Arena. I'm just going to call it Tutorial Island. I mean, that's what everyone else calls it. Generally referred to as the New Player Experience, or NPE for short. Why do they think anybody cares? The new system changed the way players unlocked decks and rewards, adding more autonomy to their choices, as well as more interesting ways for players to learn the basics of Magic the Gathering Arena. Yeah, I mean, it was fairly linear before, and now they kind of gamified it, made it more fun, more interesting, and I mean, yeah, and I saw people run through it because I wasn't allowed to, because I already finished the tutorial when the beta was out, so they literally would not let me run through the little tree achievement thing. But clearly they watched my video about it where I said, why not expand it to not new players? That little achievement tree thing looks freaking amazing, and I'd love that. I mean, even Pokemon Go has that. Hell, every game has that. Just give me a kill 100, kill 1,000, kill 10,000, monsters, and then over the next 6 months I can unlock it. Well, it looks like they've done that. They are actually doing that. But there's a catch. So they continue. We received a lot of positive feedback with the new system, so we decided to expand it beyond something just for new players. Awesome. With Core Set 2020, we're introducing a set mastery system. And by the way, by the screenshot that they're showing on screen, it looks like it's specific to Core Set M20, which is weird, but okay. And they're going to help players explore the latest card set release and earn more rewards in the process. So they're, adding a achievement thing, and it has to do with M20, and they're giving out more rewards for doing it. So sounds very positive to me, and the screenshot just looks like your typical progression tree. And the one reward that they show is an Omnath card style. So, hey, sounds great, right? Well, don't get too excited. So all players will gain access to the standard set mastery system. That doesn't mean standard set as in like it should be hyphenated. They mean the basic baseline mastery system. And they say it has a mastery tree and a reward track, which will replace the weekly win rewards. Oh, that sucks. I like those. So now you have to do whatever they tell you to instead of just winning 15. Although, I mean, maybe win 15 is on there. Oh, they're walking a tightrope with this one. If they take away my free 3 packs per, every Sunday or Monday or whatever the hell it is, and then say, oh, well, you gotta open M20 boosters until you get 4 mythics, and then, yay, achievement unlocked. That'll go over well. But, yeah, we'll see. Each set mastery will be available once a new set is released on MTG Arena, and players will have access to it until the next set releases. So you can't go back and historically do old sets, and once the next one after M20 comes out, however far into the mastery tree you got, boom, that's it. I mean, it's 3 months, but that kind of sucks. I mean, once again, to compare it to Pokemon Go, yeah, they have the badge system where it's like, oh, catch 1,000 normal types. No, now you got the gold badge. It's actually 200. On top of that, they had the mythical challenges where it's like all these weird things that you do, and there's like 8 tiers, and one's like catch a Ditto or like throw an excellent curveball, and then once you've done that, oh, now you moved up from tier 6 to 7, and at the end of it, you get a mythical Pokemon. You can still do, if you started the game today, the Mew one, which was the first one from like a year ago, and you can do all of them. You can do the Celebi one, you can do the Meltan one. With this arena system, you cannot play catch-up. And I think they're feeling like, a year and a half from now, if you can start the game brand new and then it's like, oh, win 5 games or whatever, you can complete that on like the M20 tree, the one after that, the one after that, the one after that. So you would get like way too many rewards. But if you're new to the game, wouldn't that be nice? I mean, it would kind of suppress them from spending money. But only if it's coins, gems, and booster packs and cards. If it's all card styles, I mean, locking them out of that and just saying, oh, sorry, you should have started playing a month ago, it's not very friendly. So they actually specifically say, using Core Set 2020 as an example, players will have access to the M20 set mastery, I'll just call it a progression tree because that's what it is, starting on July 2nd, and will be able to earn rewards from the Core Set mastery until the release of our fall set. And then they say, okay, so where does the cat come in? Which, that's what was in the thumbnail, by the way, if you want to see it. Or just go look at the original article on Daily MTG. They actually have a GIF of it. Players looking to earn even more rewards can do so by purchasing a Mastery Pass, which I think I'm probably just going to replace with the words Battle Pass, because that's what every other game calls it. And that expands the number and types of items players can receive by playing. In addition to more booster packs, the Mastery Pass adds gold, gems, and ICRs, or individual card rewards, card sleeves, and yes, an elemental cat companion to your rewards. Your new feline friend will celebrate your victories, comfort you in defeat, and yep, cough up fur balls, or are they fireballs? It's like a little lava cat. Freaking awesome. Players who purchase the Mastery Pass will gain access to the elemental cat and its 5 color options immediately. Oh, so it sounds like you might be able to earn it if you don't get the Battle Pass. So, okay. As you increase your set mastery, you will unlock additional upgrades for your cat companion. Oh my gosh, I want to give him a cute little pirate hat. Take my money, take all my money. I want my little digital lava cat, damn it. I want my cute little cat, I want to put him in a cute little sailor outfit, and I want to kick the shit out of my opponents with him. I would drop $50 US right now on it if, when my opponent starts slow playing me, he physically attacks their life points directly. Come on, Wizards, that's the feature we all want, damn it. So it sounds like if you really do a lot of stuff but stay on the free, limited set mastery tree reward branch thing, you can earn the cat, or you can't but you can buy it for coins or gems, probably one of the two. But if you get the Battle Pass or whatever, Mastery Pass, whatever the hell they're calling it, then you get it immediately. You get all 5 cats. So I can see that being popular. So they just come out and tell us. I'm surprised. This is very lacking in details, but they just say it. The core set Mastery Pass can be purchased for 3,400 gems. And of course, it will be available starting July 2nd. As of right now, in the American US dollar version of the store, that is on the dot $20, or $19.99 plus tax. Don't want him to sue me over misrepresenting that penny. So I've got to say, a $20 Battle Pass in a game that, yeah, it's free, but also typically costs a bit to play, not great. Like Apex Legends, you don't need to pay money to just simply play the game at a basic level. Pretty much everything is 100% cosmetic. Now, Magic the Gathering, you have cool cosmetics, card sleeves, the card styles and the new avatars, whatever. But then also, you pretty much need to spend money to get the boosters. You don't absolutely have to. I'm evidence of that. You could just brute force the free play everyday open packs till you got what you need and then just keep it rolling. But, I've heard Arena is making some serious money, so it's considered a fairly pricey, money-involved game to play at a basic level, unlike Apex Legends and Fortnite, and the Apex Legends Battle Pass is only $10. So for Arena to make it $20 on top of a game that's already at a basic level more expensive than Apex Legends, obviously, to just play it at all, that is really bad. And actually, I just checked. Yeah, Fortnite is 950 V-Bucks, and that's just under $10. Now, that said, are they equivalent? I would say no, because remember what they just said. It's not just, $20, you get the Battle Pass, you get the cat, yeah, you get better progression. They said, and I quote, in addition to more booster packs, so entire booster packs, which are usually $1 a piece on average, the Mastery Pass adds gold, gems, and individual card rewards, as well as card sleeves and the cat. So if it's just, I've got the Battle Pass, I get some cool stuff and some cosmetics and some whatever, blah, who cares? And then I get like $10 more worth of packs and cards and gems and stuff, okay, then basically it costs $10. So we'll have to see. I'm definitely going to revisit this to see if I think it's worth it after they actually release it. And the other important factor, which this is important or nobody would buy it, whatever you decide to purchase it, you'll receive all of the Mastery Pass rewards up to your current level. So let's say you win 50 games, do this, do that, whatever achievements they put on it, this, that, the other thing, and then they stat track it and whatever. And then you buy the Mastery Pass. It doesn't start counting at 0. It counts whatever you did since July 2nd, I assume. And that is how it works on Apex Legends. You could say, I don't know how much I'm going to play it. And then 3 weeks later, you're like, wow, okay. I'd be level 60 in the freaking Battle Pass. I think I'm going to buy it. And then it's retroactive and you get everything up to level 60. So, I don't know. I think a lot of people are going to have a lot of complaints about this, and a lot of people are going to be like, cool new system. Take it or leave it, whatever. I'll just ignore it. Or, I've been asking for this forever. I'm sure some people will say $20 is way too much. Other people will say $20 is right where it should be. At least they let you buy it with gems, but who the hell has just 3,400 gems just sitting around? I've got just over 500 from just doing drafts and opening repeat cards and stuff. So, yeah, ain't no way in hell you're getting there naturally with coins and drafts and stuff. But I will say, in some of those sealed events that you tend to get for free if you go to the paper one, I think they give out a pretty high amount of gems. Like I think upwards of like 1,000 to 2,000. So if you have a few gems, you might be able to get enough gems just from the code card that's in your pre-release kit in paper to actually buy this battle pass for effectively free. Like I've seen people, I think especially Cinder Shadow did this, just absolutely swept the whole thing. I think he got like 2,200 or 2,400 gems and was like, hey, let's just run another one back to back. Well, maybe instead of that, you'd say, oh, you know what? I actually have 3,400 cumulative. Let's just get the battle pass. You know, now that I've been saying it, I feel like season pass is actually the more universal term for it than battle pass. Whatever, they can call it whatever they want. They copied it from other games. You know what the Shakespeare quote is? A rose by any other name still smells like a greedy cash grab. So the rest of the article is some more important stuff. Like the London Mulligan, they're rolling it out. It sucks. Everybody hates it already. Backlash, blah, 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 whatever. Just kidding. They didn't say any of that, but I'm saying it. Then the road to rotation. They already kind of said this, but they give a couple more details. They say, if you're asking yourself, wait, what's rotation? We suggest you start off by reading our rotation Q&A. How new are you to Magic at that point? For everyone else, well, you're probably aware rotation is a few months away. Yeah, I can't wait. We're very aware. We're actually very looking forward to kicking out half the cards in Standard because half the cards are complete shit. So anyway, come this fall, Standard will bid farewell to Ixalan's, Rixalan, and Dominaria. Oh yeah, and Corset 2019. Since this is the first time that players in their MTG Arena collections will be going through rotation, other than the closed beta account wipe, there's a lot to cover between now and then. No time like the present to get started. The big questions, Fall 2020 rotation will happen with the release of our fall set codename Archery. No collections will be reset. There will be no reset, wipe, removal of cards from collection, decks, nothing. Those cards will still be yours to play with in non-standard formats, which if that's news to you, they're going to have non-standard formats. That was announced like, oh my gosh, probably in January. So as a general reminder, there are no plans for any future resets, wipes, rollbacks, none of that, barring what could only be described as a catastrophe on multiple levels, which remember, they accidentally got stuck where people would open every pack and get a mythic wildcard out of it, and they still didn't roll that back. That wasn't a catastrophe to them, which, I mean, yeah, it kind of wasn't. It's just, oh, some players got some free stuff and spent a buttload of money. Even I gave them like 10 or 20 bucks because I'm like, I'm going to take advantage of this exploit. Thank you. To this day, I still have like 15 mythic wildcards. So maybe they did it on purpose, conspiracy theory. Because let's be honest, you need rare wildcards more than mythics. So yeah, sparing a catastrophe, cards in your collections will stay there. By the way, kudos to the security of the game. I mean, nobody's like hacked it, item duplicated, or anything that we've heard about. You know, wiped the whole database, corrupted the whole thing, you know, made people get the wrong people's decks or whatever, inventory shifted, none of that. So hey, well-built game, better than Elder Scrolls Online. Also, Amonkhet and Kaladesh blocks TBD. This is spicy. Amonkhet and Kaladesh blocks will not be returning to MTG Arena with rotation. While we are still interested in finding a right way to bring these sets back to MTG Arena, we're holding off for now. So everybody's saying they're absolutely bringing back Amonkhet and Kaladesh. I have absolute proof. My grandma works at Wizards of the Coast and she told me blah, blah. No, okay, even they haven't decided yet. We made this decision because the current standard meta is pretty healthy right now, so we hope this will naturally lead to a healthy non-rotating format as well. So by the way, they just confirmed that it's going to be non-rotating, so it's basically Frontier except not crap. Let's be honest, still crap because it's not extended. What we actually need is a rotating format, not just another Modern. But it won't have the worst block in the history of Magic, Tarkir. Well, from a standard meta and cost of building decks and how many people left the game standpoint. Worst block ever, but then again, I didn't play when Darksteel was released, and I heard that almost killed the entire game. So as more sets are released and the historic meta develops, we'll continue to evaluate when it might be the right time to add Amonkhet and Kaladesh. They'll be back one day, just not right now. Well, you just said you didn't, you're, what? Are you still deciding, are you on the fence or not? They just said, we want to do it, but we're holding off for now. And also, we're absolutely going to add it in the future, which, I mean, okay. So then they say, historic play. There will be events and other ways you'll be able to use cards from sets no longer in the standard format that we're calling historic. Which is funny because they called it Standard Plus. Like, they literally already named it and announced the name. So I guess that's out the window. Whatever, the name Standard Plus was dumb anyway, and Historic is a better representation of what it actually is, better descriptors. So this will include a Historic Play Queue, both Best of 1 and Best of 3, Direct Challenge, which is awesome because then it's just free-for-all, kitchen table, hey, every card that's been in the game ever, pretty much. Practice matches with Sparky, okay, as well as some of our rotating events that are not beholden to Standard, such as Pauper, Singleton, etc. Oh, that's interesting. So they'll say, hey, we're running a Singleton event. Also, it's not restricted to Standard, because why would it be? But I've got to say, that is going to confuse and anger people once it's like, that guy's playing a card in the Singleton tournament from M19. I just started last month. I literally can't buy an M19 pack or get that card in any way. And the other option is even worse, which is, you can get the card, but you got to burn a wild card on it, which means that any card you need from like M19 or Ixalan or whatever, the only way to get it is not from a pack, from a wild card. Oh, that's what I needed to do. A 1 week long Singleton event, or only like 3-day weekend Singleton event or whatever. I'm going to burn my wild cards at an increasing rate just to get cards that I have no hope of opening from a booster. Yay. I don't know if that's a great idea, but on the surface, it sounds like, okay, Pauper and Singleton, yeah, just open it up to everything, because why not? I mean, a bigger card pool, it's more fun. It's a weird, non-standard format. You might as well just open it up to everything, I guess. It sounds kind of fun. So anyway, Historic will be specific to MTG Arena, obviously, and we intended for it to be a fun and casual way you can continue to play with all the cards in your collection. So in other words, they didn't want people quitting every year that there's a rotation. I should say, like, every year when the rotation happens. They didn't want people to just be like, you know how much I spent on this game and now I just lost half my cards and all my decks are invalid, I basically have to start over? Screw you, I'm playing a different game. People just be like, I get to keep all my cards. Well, guess what, Princess? They're all still irrelevant to Standard Constructed. You don't really get to keep them, and also they're not yours. Read the terms of service. It's just a mental thing so that people have like the sunk value alleviation in their head. I mean, let's be honest, that's all it is. Nobody wanted another Frontier. Frontier fell flat on its face. Now, 5 years from now, the Historic format players are going to be crushing all the new players in anything that's Historic. So it should theoretically then have massive issues with like die-off, because existing players will be able to play it and participate, but new players won't because they don't have that entire back catalog from just naturally playing the game for that long of a time. So yeah, this is going to go from good to bad to worse to disaster, but I don't think they have to truly worry about it for years. So yep, just kick the can down the road and pretend it's not a problem, sure. Now the other thing that's very interesting is they say renewal. We'll be adding some special events and rewards for players to help, quote, renew their collection for the new Standard environment, as well as to show our appreciation for all your support. We expect to have more information on the system sometime in August. And yeah, I mean, this whole July 2nd thing isn't when rotation happens. It's like 3 months after that. So announcing what they're going to do in August will be interesting. I have a feeling they haven't finalized it yet. But I have a feeling it's going to be like a special event where it's Historic, and then they just give you a metric buttload of wildcards. Because I think they know that with the most active players, I mean, the more cards you built up and the more you lose, the more pissed off you're going to be, and the further you're going to feel like you have to go, starting back at almost zero, because you'll have 0 playable decks. So if in the first week after rotation, they don't like hand out like a dozen wildcards to people so that they're like, okay, at least I can build something, people are going to leave, and they are going to leave in huge numbers. So especially if they say, okay, you have unlocked a grand total of, in the 4 sets that are cycling out, X amount of mythics. Like you've unlocked 58 mythic singles. We'll give you 10% of that. Here, have 5 mythic wildcards. And like, you unlocked 200 rares, have 5% of that. Have 10 rare wildcards. They know that over the entire next year, you're probably going to need 100 wildcards to build multiple decks. You're probably still going to spend money if you spent money in the past. But at least day 1 after rotation, when you're sitting on 0 usable decks and half a card collection, at least then you won't just quit. So them handing us a big giant pile of reparations for killing off most of our earnings. Most of our card library is just poof Thanos snapped. If they can make us feel better about that and do something about it very early on, we'll play long enough to give them more money over the long term. So I have a feeling they're going to be very, very generous. So then they go on to say, events, ICRs, new player decks, wildcards, booster packs, blah, 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 whatever. A bunch of really cool, interesting changes here. But they start off by saying rotation is always an exciting time for Magic the Gathering players. Yes, because having 8 sets legal never works. It never has worked, and it never will work. They never intended to have 8 sets be legal at a time. When they changed the block structure, they wanted to go to, 4-5-6, 4-5-6 repeating? Something like that? And now they're going 5-6-7-8, 5-6-7-8, which is clearly a mistake. Yes, a lot of people look forward to a bunch of toxic crap decks and individual cards rotating out. Yes, it is an exciting time. Too bad you printed a bunch of more broken, obnoxious crap in M20 and in War. So we want to make sure that our players are ready to try out new decks as they explore the new meta. Because the meta has been so great for the last 3 years. As part of this, there are some changes we'll be making with the July 2nd update to further help players with their rotation readiness. Here, let me help you out. Hoard wildcards. You're welcome. So events with the July 2nd update, we will no longer be scheduling limited events for sets rotating out of standard this fall. Yeah, you probably should do that. By the way, limited is draft and sealed. So they're limiting those to GRN onward. Also, the individual card rewards with the July 2nd update, players will no longer receive ICRs from sets that will be rotating out of standard this fall, which is going to kill your gem collection. Like, what are you most likely to get a repeat on where you get like 40 gems or whatever for a repeat mythic? A mythic from the 4 oldest sets. I'd personally rather have gems than randomized mythics. I know people have disagreed with me on that, but hey, there's only 2 ways to get gems, and that's one of them. I mean, that's my philosophy. So all the daily win rewards, everything from every tournament, everything, whatever, all the ICRs will be from Guilds of Ravnica onward. Also, new player decks, the tutorial and account mastery tree have been updated to reward new decks and card styles. And for existing players, we currently intended to grant all players these updated decks by the time rotation happens, so everyone will have access to the decks that are standard legal. There's some tech we need to implement first to make this happen, but we're working on it. Yeah, actually, that does sound kind of hard now that I think about it. Wildcard Redemption, you will still be able to craft cards from rotating sets using wildcards. With this update, we did an additional confirmation message when crafting cards that will be rotating out of standard. Oh, good, they'll shame you out of buying older mythics and rares and stuff. That's nice. This does not take into consideration any cards that may be reprinted in Archery, the set after M20. Wait a minute, what do they mean by that? Like, if the only time that, like, we'll say cancel was printed was in, like, Ixalan or something, and then they don't pop up a warning saying, hey, FYI, you're redeeming a wild card for a card that's about to rotate in X amount of weeks, but they don't pop up the warning, that means it will be in Archery, which means that you got a spoiler before spoilers came out. Unless they meant the opposite when they said not taking into consideration, which means that they will give you a warning, but it's actually knowingly false. But then if I recall, you have to unlock cards twice anyway. I think unless they share artwork, is that what it was? Or did they change that? All I know is I'm not going to get the new Ajani's Pride mates with 4 new wild cards until they force me to by rotating out the old ones. But right now, for some reason, you can buy both. So I guess the warning would still make sense then? Like, hey, you're about to unlock the card cancel, but it's about to rotate out in 3 weeks, just FYI. And then the new set drops, Archery, and then boom, cancel. Unless the warning and spoiler season will happen at the same time, but then will they give you the card before it comes out? Will they convert it from, they'll be like, oh, no, you don't want the Ixalan version of cancel. You want the, Return to Theros version of cancel. Here, have a copy of it early before anybody can have it. Like, what? I don't know what they're going to do. Once again, that sentence was so unclear. I legit don't know what they're going to do about it, and now I'm actually wondering what they're going to do about it. Either way, I mean, my policy for paper is the same as it is on Arena. I don't care if you buy a mythic from literally Ixalan, the oldest set right now. If you've got a deck idea and you can win with it for a week and rotation is in a week, build the deck and win with it for a week. People who plan their deck ideas around like, oh, rotations in 4 weeks, just play the damn game, okay? Do you want to build a fun, interesting winning deck or do you not? I mean, yeah, the price of the single is going to fall in paper, and on Arena, you're going to completely lose access to the card, basically. But why should that prevent you from winning for a short period of time with an interesting new deck idea you just came up with? I say, don't let it stop you. So hopefully when it pops up saying, hey, you're about to redeem a wild card for a really, really old card that's going to rotate, the two buttons are, oh, sorry, yeah, actually I'm not going to do that, and I don't tell you how to live your life, comma, Arena AI system. So that is it, other than the very vaguely referenced July 1st early access event. I don't know what that is or who gets into it, if it's for the beta testers, which as far as I know, they're playing with M20 right now. Will it just be another pre-release clone that undercuts the actual pre-release? I don't know. They're not giving us any details, but just watch for it. So, have July 2nd in your head for when you can actually buy this and play with it. But July 1st is some kind of weird preview event. So hopefully we'll have some more details on that in the very near future. So that is all the craziness that's going down this month and in the near future on Arena. Let me know what you think about all of it, and as the title indicates, the most significant thing here is the basically season pass that they're doing. What do you think about it? What do you think about the price? Do you want to reserve judgment until you see what the full set of rewards are, because it might be an amazing use of $20? Or are you just against it on principle as a concept? Or do you think, oh, that's really cheap? Or, maybe I'll buy that instead of packs. Like, what do you think of it? And what do you think of the cute little cat? And do you want to see him in a cute little sailor outfit? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next video.